Saul live. I'm Saul. He's Paul. That way.
That's
That way's
me.
Paul.
That's me right here.
Yeah, right there. He's a guy. Anyway,
Spicy one today.
we got a couple
Spicy.
of spicy potatoes. And as much as, look, here's the thing. SMU is out of the tournament. Florida is out of the tournament. So I'm honestly, why don't we follow ballet more? You know?
There's enough going on in Niceville right now and in the surrounding area to talk about. That's so good. Like, we could just forget March Madness altogether.
Anyway, we're going to forget about March Madness because it's irrelevant to us now because our souls are hurt. We're going to be talking about Coach Morgan leaving. We got a new Rocky Bayou head coach that's coming in, and he's got a pedigree, fellas. And we're going to have to talk about this sad thing that happened in Walton County over at Defuniak Springs at Walton Middle School. Just give you the latest on that stabbing. And then finally, we're going to wrap it up with a little bit of information about the Walton County TDD getting their money. All right. So let's roll right into it. I'm going to hit the dance.
Do the dance.
Paul, I forgot to tell you this, but yesterday I listened to a song from my college years called Lean Like a Cholo.
Oh.
And I forgot about the lean like the cholo.
Oh, the lean like the cholo.
Let me tell you. Elbows back, side to side. Anyway, first things first, we're going to get into the hard stuff. Moving into this Walton County middle school stabbing update. As you know, earlier this week, there was a stabbing at Walton Middle School, which is in Defuniak Springs, a 12 or 13-year-old. They didn't specify, just said that everybody involved was 12 to 13 years old. That was a kid. Donned a balaclava, went into the bathroom, came out, stabbed somebody, ran down the hallway and stabbed two more people. One person has been released from the hospital at this time, according to law enforcement. That's the student aid, I think is what they call them. That person has been released. The two kids are still in the hospital. And one of them was life flighted to Pensacola after this happened. And wow, man. I mean, it's horrible. It's just like, how do you expect this thing? And I mean, you can see Sheriff Atkinson talking right now through this timeline. You see how quickly this happens. 40 to 50 kids were at the school at the time. It was before school hours. It was kind of like the early drop-off time period. They found the kid. Total time between going into the bathroom and being arrested outside of the school was like 7 minutes. Two Defuniak police officers were on scene within 2 minutes. They had a school resource officer and what they call a guardian, part of the guardian program the state set up a couple years ago. They were also in the area. And it's like a ton of law enforcement was there, and still this happened.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop evil or crazy from doing evil or crazy things. I do want to give a big shout out to all the police officers and teachers and everyone involved in this. I mean, I think they handled it absolutely the best they possibly could, given the circumstances. So that's awesome. I hope these kids, recover fully, not only physically, but mentally. And, for a 12-year-old kid to be able to do something like this, Christopher and I are both believers. Like, it's just likely that it's a bad household, a lot of just evil and darkness surrounding this kid, and all we can do for everyone involved is to pray that they heal from their mental, physical, and spiritual wounds. And if this happens in Defuniak, I mean, it goes to show you that it could potentially happen absolutely anywhere. And so I'm glad our school systems have processes for these things. I wish it was not necessary. But in the day and age that we live in, with the way things are heading and how a lot of kids are left on their own, and have parents that just aren't taking care of them, and taking care of any of their needs, for whatever reason, we have to make sure all of our kids are safe. And I think like the next day, like only 40% of the school returned.
Yeah.
So that hurt my heart, because I feel like, a good percentage of the parents probably kept their kids at home. There was probably a good percentage of kids that were scared to go to school. That hurts my heart, because, it's such a great community up there in Defuniak, and they shouldn't have to be going through this, and their kids shouldn't be afraid to go to school.
Yeah. I mean, and we're showing some file video from when I took a trip to the Walton High School in Defuniak Springs. It's co-located with Walton Middle School, and then they have like a special needs school there as well. Deputy Janicia Magianis there on the left. But it's amazing how Janicia is a wonderful person. Her backstory was that, she helped kids that were bullied when she was in high school. And that's the kind of person they have there. Right. And it's good to know that there are Janicias in the world, especially after something like this. The deputies, the police officers all responded as quickly as they could. Nobody, hid out in the bathroom or waited for reinforcements or anything. They all just kind of showed up and got this kid as quickly as possible. But yeah, still a horrible, horrible situation. And I don't know how you recover from this. I mean, just mentally, it's such a long road. And I know you can, but it's just I think to not acknowledge how difficult this is going to be for a lot of kids. And I think that 40% number kind of shows you people don't know what to do right now. In the press conference yesterday, Superintendent A. Russell Hughes talked a little bit about how, getting the kids back, opening the schools back was super important because it restored normality. The kids are safe there. That's the safest place for them to be, despite this, this act happening. There's law enforcement officers. There's people that love them. He even talked about how they wanted to open it up because there's plenty of kids that are on free and reduced lunch that if they don't go to school, they don't eat.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going into this decision, I think.
Yeah, and I hope when these other two kids fully recover and they come back to school that the community and the other kids just wrap their loving arms around them and make this so it's not necessarily part of their identity going forward. And it's sort of crazy and I just pray that everyone can recover fully.
Right.
And we'll find out more. Maybe there's a motive, maybe there's not, but ideally, we'll find out a little bit more about this particular child's life and why they did what they did. Absolutely. And what's crazy is if you ask somebody what the biggest story was this week, depending on when they hit the news cycle, it was either this one or the one we're about to talk about.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of coaching changes coming up in Niceville right after this message from our sponsor, Eglin Federal Credit Union, which allows us to bring the show to you.
You should be a member at Eglin Federal Credit Union because they have great service and they make a positive impact in our community.
They're a very reliable service and they're very local and convenient.
I think the best part is feeling like you're not just a customer, you're actually a member, which makes you feel part of the family.
The people and the personal service that we get every time we walk in the door, we feel like we're home.
Must be 18 or older to join online. Eglin Federal Credit Union, where members matter most. Insured by NCUA.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are so happy to have you along because now we get to talk about the happy stuff. We have two new head coaches here in Niceville. The first one we're going to go through a good news story, I would say. A longtime college head coach has decided to come and coach over here at Rocky Bayou Christian School. Mike Conway is coming in from Olivet Nazarene University. It was his last stop where he was both the head coach and an athletic director. So this is, for him to come to Rocky is a huge get for Rocky Bayou. He has an incredible record in the college ranks. He seems to be an excellent dude as well, for lack of a better term. Here he is talking about Olivet. He went to college over at Olivet Nazarene University, had a lot of winning over there as both a player and a coach. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table for this Rocky Bayou Knights team that has had 2 SSAA finals appearances in the last 2 years, which is, nothing to shake a stick at. And because you and I both, I think you serve on the board over at Holy Family, and I have a kid at Holy Family. I am looking forward to the day when Holy Family has a football team, and I am looking for somebody. Doesn't have to be a Lutheran, all right. But if I dress up as the Pope and or a bishop, I need somebody to dress up as Martin Luther, and we're just going to sit in the stands next to each other and not say a word and pretend like nothing's happening. This is my dream, and if you are willing to play Martin Luther, I would very much like to talk to you.
That's hilarious. Big ups to Rocky Bayou on their new hire. Could a guy look more stereotypically like a football coach?
My goodness. Don't you want to run through a brick wall for this guy?
He is absolutely cut out of stone and looks like a football coach. And we can make an argument, especially after this upcoming season, at which football team within the city of Niceville is trending in the proper direction. So
Indeed.
I guess we'll see.
Well, yeah, now that we've kind of talked about that. Let's talk about head coach Richard Morgan throwing in the towel at the beginning of this week. People had rumored that he was going to leave, and it was very much up in the air. And everybody I talked to was like, well, if he stays. And so I guess the rumors became reality earlier this week when Coach Morgan turned in his papers and said, I'm leaving. And so as an alumni of the esteemed Niceville High School, what are you thinking right now, Paul?
I think it's weird. I mean, I'm watching all the comments. I hear what people are saying, like, oh, Niceville is a difficult place to coach and the parents are so hard on the coaches, blah, blah, blah. This guy's used to that. Morgan's used to that. So I don't think it had anything to do with that. The only thing I can think of is maybe there's something going on in his personal, a million reasons why one resigns and quits a gig. There's lots of rumors going around, right? Everything from he was already looking for another job and we caught wind of it and forced him to resign to, the players and coaches won't play for, or the players and parents don't like him, like, all sorts of stuff. But I don't know that we'll ever find out really why. But I think the more interesting thing is what does Niceville do now? Cool. And, this is unprecedented for us. We've only had a couple of coaches in the last few decades, let alone having to have two in a 3-year period or three in a 3-year period. And, I think the community is ready to see Coach Adron Robinson coach.
I was gonna say it if you weren't. I'm gonna bring him up on the screen here because everybody is wanting to talk about Adron Robinson right now, the head coach or the assistant coach over at Niceville High School, the head flag football coach. The man bleeds maroon. I guess we all bleed maroon, but he bleeds Niceville Eagle maroon. And I think what's really great about this potential pick, right, is that Coach Robinson was on the 88 state championship team, which I know many people are like, oh, 88 state, but I think it matters because the guy has a winning pedigree. The guy he started on both offense and defense on that 88 state championship team. And we're not just picking a guy like, I'm trying to think of a recent player that just got a starting Steve Nash for, basketball fans, right?
Sure.
Just kind of got a head coaching gig because he was a really good ball player. He's not that. He has been an assistant or associate head coach for, I think, the last 15 years at Niceville. And then I know that he got a lot of flack from some sectors of society, but city councilman and current/former Niceville Quarterback Club president Heath Rominger, he said hey, I think he would be a great head coach, and I think he's shown that he cares about this place. And so I think he's the front runner right now. If he's not the guy to get it, I think he's absolutely the front runner because I don't know how you go with I think it's very hard to go with another outside pick after a dude goes 6-5 and then dips.
Yeah. So here's I think public opinion says Coach Adron. I haven't seen a single comment that says do not pick him for any reason, right? Like people have other coaches they would like to see be the head coach, but no one is saying like Coach Adron shouldn't be it for X, Y, or Z. Yeah. I'm also making an assumption, and I could be wrong, that he interviewed for the job when Grant Thompson did, and he interviewed for the job when Morgan did, and didn't get it either time. Yeah. And we saw how Grant Thompson worked out. I think he could look at that situation and be like, "That's fine. That was the right guy for the job, right?" And now we have seen how picking an outside coach who's not from the area, who does have a bit of a pedigree, but has head coaching experience, has done and what has happened there. Like this just seems like the right time to give Coach Adron a chance because the schedule, and you have the schedule is ridiculous next year. You need a guy that is going to be here through and through because next year is going to be insanely hard.
And it's not even next year. It's this year, bro. It's 140 days till the kickoff class.
I mean, I know I'm saying next year, but that's the other issue. Like, you're gonna go get an outside guy to come pick this up with 140 days till kickoff. Like,
he's got to find a house.
Yeah, it just seems like finally all the stars have aligned, and like Coach Adron should be the guy for this. And no one's gonna fault him for a down season. Hopefully he can solidify McCoy as our quarterback. And we get another 2 years out of him, and next year's this upcoming year, 140 days away, is a building year, a rebuilding year, and we really go hard at it the following year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't surprise people this upcoming year, but the schedule is pretty brutal, and we don't have a coach with 140 days left.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is that a lot of these kids could transfer, right? If they don't get a coach that acts as a bonding agent that says, "Hey, it's okay. If you stick with me, you have, I don't know, a better chance at a scholarship or a better chance at a winning season," or whatever, whatever things that get kids to stay where they are, right? I mean, there's some number of kids that are never going to move because they're either Niceville people or like, I mean, if this is my kid, I'm like, look, I don't care if the team goes 1-10 or 10-1, like you go to school where you go to school, right?
Yeah.
But not, but there's other people that have other calculus to consider, right? Like there's other people that have children that are gifted athletes, whereas like I do not have athletic genes. And so it doesn't make sense for me to like assume that like my kids are going to be like rock solid 5-star quarterback prospects. So that's not me like saying like, oh, if they transfer, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts with this, and bringing in a new guy seems like a huge lift. Ultimately, Principal Charlie Marilla has to make this decision, right? And I don't envy him in this, especially having to do it 2 years in a row. Like this is not an easy task. Other people have said, oh, Tommy Joe should be the guy. And like, I remember Banji Mamidi over at the Panama City News Herald interviewed Tommy Joe last year. And Tommy Joe's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, why would I go to Niceville? I'm staying at Mosley. Right. Mosley on the schedule, September the 4th, by the way, at home again. Niceville losing that in overtime, and a great game. But you look at this, and I mean, Fort Walton Beach, of course, is kind of, they haven't had a winning season in a quarter century. But that's a kickoff classic. So who cares, right? But you have 2 Alabama teams that you're going to go visit this year. You've got Mikael Williams over at Pace and an incredible offensive line to support him. Navarre has not looked great. Looking at West Florida is always like a C- or C+ B- team. Choctaw ran over everybody last year and looks to do so again, and they have to go to Fort Walton Beach for that game.
Yeah.
Tate, solid team. Crestview, always up to play Niceville. Literally, you could get 11 kids from the Pop Warner team at Crestview, and they'd give Niceville a game. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And it just doesn't matter. They like when you got that much fire in you, when it's the Niceville game, like it don't matter, bro. And then yeah, two Alabama games, man. This is a murderer's row.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to succeed. That's what Coach Adron would say.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to excel. Listen, my daughter played for him on flag. He's leading a currently undefeated flag football team who just beat Choctaw. I think it's the first time they've beaten Choctaw in like 4 years. Okay. And Choctaw was a highly ranked team above Niceville. So he's got the girls playing. He's had the football team playing well before. He's seen how it's done across multiple high performing coaches. Like, I don't know. I just see the stars aligning. If I was gonna bet, I'd put my money on Coach Adron, and if it goes some other direction, man, there's gonna be some public
rancor, anger, gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. But we'll stay on top of it, and as soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. But lots of rumor, a lot of smoke right now. No fun.
Very much. So bed tax is our next thing. The TDD has determined that they are not getting enough bed tax revenue that they should be getting. And so they are cracking down, brother. They're coming for your bed tax money. But I think this is a good thing because ultimately the bed taxes only happen if there is a bed to be taxed, a bed to be slept in. So this is one of those use taxes that affects most people that are out of town. And so out of town, out of mind, as it were. They don't vote here. And so I think this is a win. I think that it's good that they're putting extra resources and elbow grease into this. What say you, my friend?
Well, I don't like cheaters. I mean, it's a bed tax. You're wanting to rent your place. Like, I get that it's challenging sometimes and you've made a big investment. But the rules are the rules and the taxes are the taxes and you should be paying them. And if you're not, I'm glad they're coming after you for them.
Well, very good. I feel like you kind of said it all in that. I agree.
It's not as fun a topic as Niceville football, but
look, man, every topic can't be Niceville football. Just like I can't be a 5-star quarterback. That this is the Christopher Saul of stories in this show today, and
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay. It's important. As important.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so what are they going to do with this money? I am ultimately very interested because I think that they have to economize and make efficiencies for all of these taxes in light of the fact that there's gonna be a special session on property tax later this year. I mean, I say there's gonna. They haven't called a special session. The governor hasn't called it yet, but like, you know it. I know it. There's going to be some sort of like property tax reform. There's going to be another, tax break that's going to be put on property taxes. Not that I know everything, but I mean, I can also see with my eyes. And so I think this is good. I think that they're going to have to figure out how to make the same thing happen with less money. And that means they're going to have to be creative, but not in the creative accounting sense, creative more in the, like, how do we make the ends meet sense? And so this, I believe this is a direct reaction to the fact that people are looking at giving more tax breaks on property tax.
That's probably true, but I mean, people are definitely not paying their bed tax, and somebody finally got sick of it, and they probably think it's to the tunes of millions. So
I can only imagine. I mean, when your economy is like, Walton County's economy is like 80% tourism, right? Like they have some other little stuff going on, not little, but it doesn't make up as much as the military does in Okaloosa County.
True.
So I very much believe this is a good thing. And that's right, renters, pay your taxes.
Landlords.
Landlords. Yeah, vacationers enjoying yourselves in our home.
That's right.
Bunch of jerks. Thanks for your money. Anyway, that is what we have for today's show. And I'm not going to forget to put the music out, but do you have any last words about any of these things?
No, just be nice, Niceville, and we'll see you next week with more of the news. Support your local news. It's free. We make it free. We're not like some of the people in Pensacola that make you click something and then log in and give them money. It's free. So just donate some stuff to midbaynews.com/donate and be nice, Niceville. Hit the music, Christopher.
I got you, dog.
Peace.